What's up, peeps? Rick from DFS On Demand here with your one and done preview for the Wyndham Championship. But before we get into that, let's look back at last week's WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational and see how everything went. All right, in the Gups corner, one and done, the 5 highest owned golfers were Xander Schauffele, 281 picks, Justin Thomas, 237, Bryson DeChambeau, 138, Patrick Cantlay, 119, DJ right behind him, 117. What we tend to see in these fields where all the best players in the world are here, the ownership pretty much gets pretty well spread out. You know, no golfer over 300 picks, only 150 difference between Xander at the top spot and DJ at the 5th spot. Pretty compact, pretty spread out. I actually think a lot of people have probably given up on by this point. So like if I export these and count them, I imagine that there wasn't 3,000 picks this week, but that's for another day. Anyway, how would you have done if you picked one of those guys? Well, working up from the bottom, Bryson finished T48 in a field of 63. Xander finished T27. DJ finished T20. And then Justin Thomas and Patrick Cantlay finished T12. Cantlay, to me, the really disappointing one. Because he shot 65-68. I think he was 1 or 2 shots off the lead after 36 holes. Then he starts Saturday, goes out and makes a double. Then he makes a double again later in the round, ends up shooting a 73. So, I mean, his rounds were 65-68, 73-68. His 3 rounds outside of Saturday were more than good enough to keep him in contention here. But it ends up being Brooks who runs away with it. We had Rory and we had Rafa Cabrera-Bello in our 2 lineups. I said Cantlay was disappointing. Rory obviously disappointing because he starts Sunday with a 1-shot lead. Doesn't even finish like solo second like Webb did. Ends up going T4, only earning, $350,000 instead of the potentially $1 million plus that we would have gotten if he goes out and actually holds on to the lead here. So really disappointing because that would have boosted us up the ranks of segment 4. So here's the full leaderboard. Let's see where we're at here. So Cabrera-Bello in our weekly lineup got us 143,000. Our season-long lineup had Rory, 384,000. We're doing that puts us about, so we're in the top 3rd for our weekly lineup and about the top, I don't know, was that 40% of our season-long lineup. But it was segment 4 that we were actually doing much better in. We were, I think, 39th in segment 4 before the tournament started. Cabrera-Bello gets 143,000. We dropped to 149th. Rory makes our second lineup much better, getting 384,000, but we're in 530th. So there's a couple weeks to go. We've got 4 weeks to go here. We are certainly in the running for segment 4 if we can find a winner, preferably a low-owned winner, but I don't think we're going to press our luck this week. We've got a little bit of chalk coming at you. So let's talk about that chalk and who we could potentially pick for this week. I've made a DFS video, which I will try to post at the top of the screen right here, right now. I've seen other YouTubers do that. I'll see if I can do that, add that there. You can go watch that and kind of get the full, 20-minute breakdown of how I feel about a lot of these golfers and some stats behind it. I've got an hour-long sports betting show on sportsgrid.com that will air for the first time 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday night, and then you can get it on their YouTube channel, for example. So I'll tweet that out as well. So there's a lot of content out there. I went on Pat Mayo's show, so that should be out by the time you're watching this. So, I mean, there's just a lot of thoughts. So I'll narrow this down for you. All the guys over 10K, there's only 2 that really interest me. Webb Simpson, coming in off of a great WGC. He's had a great month or so, has absolutely destroyed Sedgefield Country Club in the past. I mentioned it. I think on a couple shows, he named his daughter Wyndham. Like, he loves this course, loves this tournament. His history has shown that. I will stay away from Hideki, Spieth, and Morikawa because of, Morikawa just won. Might be a little bit of a hangover there. The other two guys don't hit enough fairways for me. And then it's Brandt Snedeker, who left so many strokes on the course last week via his putter, which is his best asset. So I think there's a lot of ceiling left for Snedeker to get to. Shot at 59, was your wire-to-wire champion last year. Fits all the good stuff. So those are the guys. If you're trying to go further down the list, Paul Casey, for whatever reason, seems to be overlooked by a lot of guys right now. He's great at total driving, plays well enough. Paul Casey fits here. He's got a third place finish the last time he played, which was a couple of years ago. Ches Reavie breaks my model. He doesn't have the tangible history, but he should be the perfect fit for Sedgefield. Absolutely breaks my model. Lucas Glover, further down the list, if you want to go even further, again, another guy who plays par fours great. Very accurate off the tee. His last 3 starts have been a 7th place finish, a 10th place finish, and a 20th place finish. It's just like, those are the guys that I would focus a lot of my attention on. Where I'm actually going to go is, in our weekly lineup, I'm going to pick Brandt Snedeker. Again, I just love the way he obviously played here last year. I love the way that he played, barring the putter, on the weekend at the WGC, which it's Brandt. Like he's probably has like I think he safely has like 4 shots that he could get back with that putter if he just gets back to his baseline. If he goes above his baseline this week, it could be more. And then in our season-long lineup, the one that we chose before the season, we actually do have Webb Simpson. So I actually love when that lineup that we created in January, when I still feel good about it the week of. And it makes you feel really smart. We had Rory last week, which I thought was going to be brilliant when he comes through with the win, and only 70 of us had him. We've got Webb this week, which way more than 70 of us will have. It'll be a few hundred. He will probably be the highest owned golfer. So hoping he can come through. And then if I need to be a little bit of a contrarian in the final few weeks of the year, we will look to do that depending on how the segment plays out. So that's who I'm going with. Super chalk for me. Both of those guys will be in the top 5 highest owned golfers. Let me know who you are going with, or which one of these guys that you would stay away from. Tweet me. It's at RickRunGood. It's not at DFS On Demand anymore. It's at RickRunGood, or leave a comment below. Talk to you guys soon. See ya.